Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Steelhorse Station. I am feeling good this morning. Hope you are all well. G'day, John. Great to have you in. I see there's a couple of folks with you, so good to see you. We are heading across to the Oaks. I am just trying to figure out why my mouse is misbehaving. So my guess would be that Microsoft in their infinite wisdom have updated something. Of course, it's evening for you. I should know that. That's just what happens when I've already been out to the airport and dropped family off because my wife and son are taking our niece to visit my daughter in Queensland. And as the way with these things, they bought cheap tickets, which meant a pre-dawn flight. But that worked in really well. So I am trying to figure out how to get my mouse settings back because the track speed, she did arrive safely and she is having a wonderful time. So quite busy. We've done a few things. Couple of little touristy things, not too much. Let's go across to where are we here? Oops, I want that screen. This is going to be most annoying. So what I was just starting out to do, I'm planning to roll forward into May. I just wanted to get this tractor and the plow, first of all, maintained. Yeah, so it takes, so that, just to give you an example, normally just straightening up the camera view from side on to square would be a 3-inch move of my mouse. That just took 4 swipes of 3 inches. So somewhere along the line, I've lost all the settings for the mouse. Which just means it needs to move a long way to achieve the same effect. Right, so that's all maintained. Eventually can turn around. Now, let's send you off to... I put a parking space at the chicken farm because the reason I want to send that... Where have they gone? Where are Putney? Putney Mania, Putney Cow Farm. I thought I did a Putney chicken farm. Okay, let's try up the top. Coop 1 Park, there it is. I was trying to get my auto drive courses a little bit better set up. So there we go, he's on the way. If we jump out of there, we can go to our doormat. You can see we're down to 3 contracts. So we've got two corn planting contracts going on and 1 fertilizer. The fertilizer with the truck we bought last time, but let's roll forward into May. Sleep. While that's rolling over, let's just duck back over here for a second and see, that's really strange. Details. That's better. So it did. Oh, it's almost better. It's not completely right, but it's much better than it was. Okay. So we are in May. So we've got 190,000 in the bank. And we don't need that tractor for the minute. We can skip it. So we have some grass that we need to cut. In order to cut the grass, we need to finish planting the corn. So if we flick across, where are we? So you're heading off to plow or create the fields. So you're coming here. So we want to reseed that little patch of grass there, which just means plowing it up and replanting it. We've got a couple of pallets of eggs to sell there, and I've put a little bit of feed. I bought a couple of bags of wheat, which was very expensive, but at least now we've got enough food for the chickens for a little while. At least until hopefully we come up with some contracts, and there are a couple of pallets of eggs that we need to figure out where to sell. Then why are you only cycling? There we go. Through a couple of pieces of equipment. So this guy is planting away. So he's only about 15% of the job done. So it's going to be going a while. And it's a slightly irregular shaped field. So he's doing plenty of turns at the present. Now the other thing you'll notice is I also bought the second planter that was in the sale, because I figured actually having 2 9-meter planters was the right configuration for us, and missing the opportunity to buy one that was at half price was short-sighted. So this way we've got the flexibility, our planter setup is good. What we really need now is another tractor. As you can see, the 3670 struggles a little, and we're just coming up to tick over 100 hours on it. So we really need to be adding another tractor in the 200 plus horsepower bracket. And let's check the sales for the day. Ooh, how big is the Vulture? That could well be perfect. That could absolutely be perfect. The Vulture, I think. What is the configuration? It's 210. Front 3-point. What is going on here? There we go. Oh, this is a mod, so it must have 4 million options on it. But it looks pretty good. It's got the Azaria sensors. I'm thinking we can't let this one go by. It's right in the sweet spot of what we need. How many hours on it? 25 hours. Perfect. So, do we go up one engine size would be the question. As the Versu doesn't give us any difference. What's the difference between Yes, that's certainly true. What's the difference between the Versu and the... Just a little bit of cab configuration stuff. Oh, does the Versu allow you to change seating position maybe? CVT 215 active versus direct. I think we take that one. It's 20 grand more, but it's a little bit more horsepower wheel wise. Let's put some Michelins on. Reverse driving. There you go. I think we'll take wheel weights. Roof setup standard looks fine. Yes, we don't need this. Not a big fan of sunroofs myself, and we don't have particularly hilly terrain. Reverse driving, we don't. No, well, see, there's the reverse driving option there. We don't want reverse driving for the moment. Panorama window, interior setup, we'll leave as is. We do want to... we'd want a left-hand beacon light, wouldn't we? Left-hand, right-hand? Right-hand beacon. Warning signs, no. Speed decal, no. Carpet, it seems unnecessary. Plastic fuel tank, not a bad thing. Front loader, we don't want on this one. GPS, we would, but not for now, I think, to your point, John. And I'm quite partial to the colours that it's come out of the box with. So let's grab that because we can. So what else was there? Nothing else that we need right now. So what we can do, you need to do what? You are out of fuel. That's not the right waypoint, I'll bet. Been having a little bit of trouble with keeping this guy on the correct course. I think it's because there's no Azaria sensors on the truck. The sprayer doesn't give us the same information, and it missed a bit of the field somehow. So it was quite interesting. But nonetheless, he's quite capable of driving over and filling up with fertilizer. So we'll come back and finish this field off. There's only a third of it to go. It just gets a little bit awkward figuring out where we've been. So that's fine. And there's our brand spanking new tractor. I think looks terrific. So the good news about grabbing you now is you can go and put some mowers on. Are you going there? I'm sure we wanted you to go there. And you can run around and do the mowing quickly while we get some of these other jobs sorted. Welcome along, whoever's just popped in. We're getting ourselves sorted out for the day's activities. As you can see, we're in May. There is a bit of rain coming later, which shouldn't affect us. And we've got a couple of contracts in progress. What we might do is have a quick look at the contracts board just to see. If you're unfamiliar, the rules of the operation are we can only have 5 contracts active at a time because that's the number of Putney children. So a weeding contract. Small weeds in 46 using a weeder. We can probably do that. Let's accept that. And there's fertilizing contract on 79 we will also take. So that'll give us plenty to go on with. Our own fields are in good shape. Main thing we need to be doing is getting another silage plant sorted, but before that actually making some hay so that we can get our cows established. Andrew Perrin, welcome in, sir. Great to see you. Now, so let's get this guy. We can actually work better if I turn off the driver. Why am I having such trouble with the view today? We squeeze through that gap there without putting more dings and scratches in the landy. Now, let's see. How do we want to mark out this field? First of all, let's unfold you. I think we'll put you on the other side. Family is at least allocated at this stage, even if they're not being utilised, John. We'll get that sorted out. And meanwhile, Harold can fix this this field. So I reckon we do something like that. So let's cancel that. Record that. Put you down. Turn you on. A little bit crooked, but we'll straighten that out. No need to go right to the lump on the left. That'll just create problems when we mow it. And this doesn't need to be huge. It really is just top up so that we're not wasting the space. At some point down the track, we may even put sheds on this space if we need storage over here. It's kind of a bit of a utility area on this side of the map. When I've finished doing the perimeter here, I'll show you. Yeah, it's very much, it's kind of almost like a drainage levee, isn't it? But for the unfamiliar, I'll show you where we are on the map in just a second. This is the block we bought that has chicken coops on it, or buildings to house the chickens. So the 4 buildings in front of us there hold 1,500 chickens each. We've only just started in 2 of them, and natural reproduction will fill them over the next little while. But it's, yeah, it's very much like a flood levee. Plot 99, is it? I'll check in just a sec when I get this perimeter sorted. Right. That is custom field 1. Uh, 100 meters long. Was that how the length of it? Let's have a look at it. Well, let's hop out of my tractor. It'll work better. So we are over here. And so it's this area in here. If I have a look at the farmland, as John just said, it's farm area 99. So that's ours, and the rest of our holdings, if folks that are lurking in the background there haven't been for a while. So we've bought a cow shed up here. Oh, Field 100 might be a good purchase in the future. Could well do. At $500,000 though, it's a little way down the track. 427 is not quite $500,000, but so we've got a nice little holding around the Putney Manor, and we'll add to that as funds permit. We've got the chickens over here, and then we've got a cow pen and some really good sheds up here. So we're well represented on the map. So I'm referring to this as the cow farm. This is the chook farm. And this is Putney Manor. So that's the state of play. And if we go into there and rename the custom field to Chicken Meadow. So we know what it is, and we can edit it to make sure that it kind of looks the way we want. That looks pretty good. I don't see any reason to mess too much with those boundaries. Excellent. And now if we get out of you, drop back in here. Let's do 5 headlands. Start on the center, round corners. Work with 42 meters? I don't think so. I think it's more like 2.5. You are very confused, Mr. Auto Drive. Where are we here? I think it's 2.4. The short plow. 2 meters. So, goodness me. Surely there's an easier way than inching down in. I can't type a number in there. No, I cannot. I'm going to come down in 0.1 increments. Yeah, I'm in Courseplay. I have both windows open at the moment, but oh goodness, let's hit the right button again. Getting ahead of myself. Da, 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 da. I've not encountered it do this to me before. I've had it inherit different bits of equipment before, but not a 42 meter one. Get RSI in the index finger. Take a tea break. The last piece of equipment we had on here was the Kubota fertilizer spreader or lime spreader. So it appears to think And because that's the 3-point attach, I'm guessing it's somehow attributed that with the tractor. And hasn't correctly assumed the plow. So let's try generating that course. Yes. Okay, that would appear to be good. I need to... I got you set up right. You would. Just make sure he's right, and then we need to go sort this truck out because I've got a sneaking suspicion it's just done a whole load of fertilizer and hasn't actually moved the dial on completing that field, so it's stuck. Just like having real life children. There we go. He looks like he's fine. Will he make the turn at the end? I.e. was 5 headlands enough? Yes, looks like it might have been. Okay, let's go over. You're out of corn seeds. So we might, the easiest way to deal with that, I think, is to send you back to the farm. To the yard, rather. Putney main yard, home yard park. And I can fill you up there and then you can come back and resume your field. You're going to get to the same position shortly. You ran out of stuff in the silo. That's what you were complaining about. Where's the refill? We don't want to put that much in there. Don't want to invest all our money in what's happening. Why will you not go? There we go. We'll come back and check on you in a minute. Oh, you got stuck there. Oh, thank you for doing that, John. I hope you enjoyed it. Coming up to episode 50 on Griffin. I never had any expectations of managing that when I started the series. And Kevin and Jocelyn have come a long way. The cattle side of the business is really starting to kick off. So well on track to being able to use sort of a single turnover of the herd to pay off the loan in the next couple of seasons. He's very much a man going for world's domination. Is Kevin? Not that he really has any concept of what that entails, but That doesn't stop him. Why are you not? You're not hooking on because you're... How did you get in there? Turn around like that. Whoops. Probably some magic genie put you away. So let's see here. We might send you into this field. Because we're not working those other two contracts, we can just get you to do a course, which needs to be field 76, single mower. That's the one. Load the course and at a first waypoint and off your toddle. Now let's go back to that truck. You're coming back to fill up with seed. Because I'm batching for the weekend. Where on earth are you going? I should be able to get both a Silver Run episode and another follow-up Griffin episode, so the 50th episode, out through the course of the weekend, maybe into Monday. That's currently the plan. We'll see how we go. So you're full. And if we look at field 7, which is the one you're working on over here, we can't get any information on fertilization, I don't think. That is sensible, because one of these quirks, we're playing with precision farming, but it won't give me any data about fields that I don't own. Which is not normally an issue, because when you're using tractors to work the field, as long as it's defined, I've observed that as long as the tractor is defined for the precision farming sensors, whether they're fitted or not, it actually gives you enough information. Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. I try not to get too hung up on subs. I can see how it would be very easy to, like, I'm aware of where they are, but I'm not living my life around them or making choices. I think it helps that it's not kind of my primary goal. I don't know if I've mentioned before, the goal I set myself, is that the field I want to be in? Where are you going? The goal I set myself was to try and buy a new iPad one day with revenue generated from YouTube. Yeah, so far that's looking like that we could be in the device that follows the iPad before that's possible, but that's kind of how I'm looking at it. Now, why do you look... I don't want you going there. Well, it's more just it's an experiment. Like I started out, I didn't know if I'd make content that anybody would even watch. So I thought, well, I'll try and make things that I think I'd like to watch and that I enjoy making. I'm going to start you here because looking at that mini map, interrupt my train of thought, it looks like I've done the outside but maybe missed this section here. So pick that waypoint up and we'll see in a minute if this starts improving the completion on the field. And I've always been a bit of a goals-oriented person, so I knew that in order to kind of motivate myself, I needed to have something, a purpose, something to aim for. So I decided a good target would be, well, can I generate enough interest? Which course are you on there? Where are you going? Okay, let's not do that. Let's go all the way up to the other end of that. Can I generate enough interest to get to the point where YouTube will send me a check for $1 or whatever they do? And so that point, for those that are watching that don't know, is you need 4,000 viewed hours of video content and 1,000 subscribers. And so I set off on that little expedition last August, and as we sit here today, as John just pointed out, we're up at 100 and I'm gonna do that one there. Up at 192 subscribers, I think. Thank you very much to everybody that's hit that button. And it's about 3,300 viewed hours. So to me, as measures go, the viewed hours is far more relevant because that says people are actually looking at what you produce, as distinct from subscribers, which seems a bit artificial to me. But that's just how it is. So at this rate, which is completely the opposite of what I expected when I began, I'll blow through the 4,000 hour mark sometime in the next couple of months, but we're probably, 6 to 9 months or so away from the subscriber count, which is just an interesting, what would you call it? Piece of trivia. There you go. Okay, so that looks like it's crediting us. So that's the color we need to be looking for. But we've got to pay attention to it to keep it on the straight and narrow. I can't, oh, hang on. If I go that way, there's a bit on this side of the field. Is there a, no, there, that. Let's go back to there. There's a bit on this side of the field, and it looks like there's a little bit on the other side of the field. So somehow I managed to do the bit around the island. Maybe it's the island that screwed it up. Got it confused at some point. It's not a huge problem other than the fact that I think we've burnt through a tank or two of fertilizer more than we probably needed to. But it's a fairly lucrative contract, so all in all, the contracts have been paying us pretty well. They've allowed us to buy a new tractor, they've funded the truck and the planter. G'day, Scott! Great to have you in, sir. Hope you are well. Got free for all folks. A content creator, currently taking on the challenge of working all farms on for Mississippi concurrently and doing a lovely job of it. Check him out if you haven't already. Scott, we are busily doing a whole bunch of things. We've got all of the kids working today in one form or another. The job that they don't want to release you from. I couldn't believe they wouldn't give you leave in the middle of the year. Like, you're the most... do they not understand that when you get older folks that are working because they want to, that if you don't give them a break every now and again, they just go anyway? Right, so I need to put that little thing back up. So I did miss another couple of stripes, which we might do to the left, but we'll leave this guy go for a minute. Yeah, for those that aren't in Scott's Discord, he was all set to buy his ticket to FarmCom and then wisely thought, oh, well, he's got part-time job, he'll just check that it'll be okay to take leave, and they said no. So it was very disappointing. Okay, my man here is mowing the grass. So that's going pretty well. So we're going to make some hay, which will enable us to get into the cow business. That's the goal. We have plenty of milk cows, that is. Now we have a weeding contract. Is that a weed or a hoe? I can't remember. We have both. That is a weeder, and that is a weeder. So let's send our little guy, because you're too small a tractor for the big one. And the weeding contract is... which field? Our weeding contract is on field 84. Which is, so let's send you to field 84. Plenty of fields to choose from. 84 East sounds pretty good. Off your toddle. Make sure you don't get hooked up in the yard. Now where did... Well, we've got a planter that should have arrived back here by now. Did I send it to the wrong spot? There's every chance that that's the case. Yeah, I did. I sent it down here. That would do it. So let's see. Where can we do a U-turn here? Up here. Might manage a little bit of a sneaky U-turn. Missed the gate post just. Duck for the trees. There we go. I'm pretty sure I pulled you off field 3, didn't I? Yes, the no collisions on the hedge are a godsend. Make it... They look terrific, but they're also practical to work with. So, you know, you can play as realistic as you want. There we go. I'm pretty sure you're off field 3. So you can go back to field 3. East side, I think. Just make sure you navigate out of the yard pretty well. We do have half a trailer of silage that we can trundle down and sell when we get a chance. Okay, he's full as well. Now you are on 58, which is also pretty close to the yard, so you can go back to Putney Yard Delivery. That's where we want to send you. Hopefully. Not a hard question. It's just up the road. Interesting. You got fuel? Where's the out of this field? There is a track over there. Let's see if this makes it. Oh, there might be gates shut in the way. That might be the problem. Because we're in a farm that we haven't used before. Just for those that aren't familiar, and I'm confused as to my orientation, we're down here on the map. Yeah, so we need to drive straight up this driveway. There might be a gate at the end because we didn't come in this way. Yes, there is. That's why you can't get out. Now you should be able to get back to the yard, Chief. Much better, he says. You should have gone left, but never mind. We'll let you find your way back. Let's see. Now, you're doing the last little bit that needs doing in this section. What are we up to? 80%. So I reckon we go and try and find that line off to our right-hand side. And then there's another section over there somewhere, I reckon, hasn't been done also. So we'll be able to do that. Gradually getting through stuff. Gradually getting it done. I've been thinking more about the question I posed in the last stream for here, which is, as we look ahead, what are our sort of developmental priorities? Do we buy land? Do we just get bigger equipment? Do we, take a particular direction? What's the deal? We sort of landed a bit when we last discussed it on the sort of all of the above. I'm thinking that I'm keen that we try and pick up a sugar beet harvester, because I think that'd be kind of cool, and that would then open up to us some sugar beet contracts. If we have a look at the map at crops, interestingly, there's only 5 or 4 fields planted with sugar beet this year, but a couple of them are pretty big. So if they came up in contract, we'd need the gear to work them. So we'll just have to play it by ear to see how that pans out. Ideally, I'd love it if it was a second-hand piece, and it might be impractical to buy a self-propelled unit if we've got to buy it new. But I think we want to be in a position where if one came up second-hand, we could snap it up. That's the kind of way I'm thinking about it. And then in parallel, because that's still a few months away, I think it would be good. I think there'll be plenty of grain harvest contracts. So I think we want to be looking to add another older style harvester to the TX32 that we've got. Okay, let's turn you off there. And zip back this way a fraction. So you've done that one. You need to come back up that one. What have we got here? Maybe it's just one row up that we need to do on this side. %. I think it's doing about 5% on a run. I don't know if people have been paying much closer attention than that. We'll go back to... Yeah, it looks like we've got a little bit here, so let's zip you down there. We go to the big map, and I'm thinking it's looking like this area on the other side of the lake is also not yet done. So that's where I'm reckoning we go and have a look as soon as we've got back up this row. No, it doesn't burn through the liquid all that fast. So it's deceptive because it's a big field. But if you look at the map, it is shading in as though it was applying the second coat. So we'll see, and we're getting our completion rate is ticking up. So it's looking like we're on track. By the end of the top end of this row, we'll be at 90%. And hopefully then that last 10% is that area I just identified on the other side of the field. That's what I'm kind of working towards. I think we've got time before he gets to the end to just kick across. Looks like the lawn mowing is well progressed. You found a gate that I hadn't opened. Ooh. And a train line. Who knew? Where are you going to weed? You're heading to field. Why are you heading to field 84? You should be heading to field 46. I don't know what I'm doing. That would explain why you're in a part of the map you haven't been to. No, there's no train. The train spotters have a very slow day. 46, we said, is the contract we want you to work on. 46. Let's go to 46 east. No, there is no 46 east. 46 north. Let's turn around. Is there an outdoor here? Yes, there is. Right. So you sort of managed it, but your offsets are a bit screwed up. So we'll tidy you up later because you've done well. You're here to fill up, which is excellent. So we'll do that. So far our seed supply is holding up all right. It's going to be tight though. We'll probably need some more to finish these corn contracts. And I need to upgrade the auger wagon, or we need to find another solution for that, because the auger wagon just doesn't work with these bigger planters, and we knew we had trouble with the gill anyway. So I think we've just about grown out of our little auger trailer. Now you are going back to field 58, if I'm not mistaken. And then let's go and see where you're up to. You've turned around, so stop you in your tracks. Let's head over this side of the field. Because I reckon somewhere down in here is where we start to discover a spot that you haven't done. You're going that way. Let's try. Yes, that's exactly what I need. I don't know if anyone in chat has any recommendations. We can have a look in a minute when we set this guy off. It's on the list of stuff to do. I was looking for something culturally appropriate, and I don't feel like I've found anything. And let's have a look here. Right, so I guess auger wagons are the starting point, and they're all big harvesty sort of vehicles. So that's what we have. The Parker came out as a mod recently, so I popped that in. Although it feels a bit, I don't know why, but it feels a bit American. I'm happy to be told that I'm completely clueless and wrong, and that it's actually a British brand. Schultz Modding's Seed Tender. Oh, is that this one? Is that this guy? Or is it, or just the same idea but different? Because my question was going to be to chat. I hadn't looked it up. This brand, is this a European brand or an American brand? The Parker is very American. Cool. So I'm not just imagining it. I have actually learnt something. But these guys I'm not familiar with. And I'm happy to go with European if people think this is not unreasonable. I certainly thought the price was pretty reasonable. And we could mount this, well, we could absolutely put this on a flatbed. So that was kind of my thought. Or there's actually this version of it which comes mounted on a trailer, which I thought, well, maybe we just go straight there. At 12.5 grand, I didn't think it was an overly expensive solution. What I did wonder is, mounted this way, how adjustable that auger is and whether that's going to get over the... It looks fairly high, so certainly better than what we have. And I assume what happens when I unfold it, it swings around to the side. So maybe we just go with one of these and see what happens. The kids are ruling and they're saying, yay. And it'll be Dad's fault if it's wrong. It's pretty much how it is in real life. I don't have a good trailer. So our trailer options, where are we? Our trailer options are pretty limited. And it would look kind of bizarre sitting up on one of these. Like this, oops. I have got this configured for bales at the minute. So if we hang on. You're all doing the wrong thing. We need you back over here. The rain's in. Don't really want to be spraying liquid fert in the rain. And by the way, Scooter, there you go. I didn't know that either. What do we want here? We want the next up row, which is over here somewhere. So you are an up right there. Because we've only got 4%, it's only just started raining, I'm going to let him go and see if we can get this sorted. the seeding operations we're doing are fine in the rain, and we won't be able to ted that grass until it stops raining. But at least it's cut now. I don't mind that they're headquartered in the US. I couldn't easily see any other options, and I think the Unverth looks kind of more the deal than the Parker. The one I use on Silver Run is Silver Run, or is it Griffin? I used Dogface's tender there, so I didn't want to be using that because I sort of felt that was quite an American style. Now we're going here 95%. We want to come down the next one if we can. So that's okay. We'll have a look at that in a minute. Just get this bit sorted out. Because the other thing that we'll buy, now that we're cutting some grass to make some hay, we'll also purchase the back for this truck that has a feed mixer on it. And we'll need to get a mid-size cow trailer so that we can pick up some cows. You're going to turn the other way, so we'll stop you right here. Pop you on there. And is 900 litres going to be enough to do the last 3% of the field? We might have to supervise carefully. The other thing I've observed, which I think is related to the sensors, but this doesn't spot spray in the same way our other sprayer does that we were using in the last stream. So the John Deere is clearly the pick of the solutions for our spraying, which means this is just an occasional coarse sprayer, I think. But and particularly now we've picked up the extra larger tractor, I think we'll be well set up. While I'm thinking of it, that's one thing we haven't done. I've got to get out of the cab before I can go there. We need to pay another $7,500 off our principal on our loan. We need, yep, there we go. We've clicked over to 98. This is going to be a very close run thing, I think, in terms of finishing the contract. Just about at the end of the row. Oh, we finished. Loads left. That last 3% was easy. Cool. So now we can turn you back to normal. We can send you to Putney Cow Farm, and we want you to go to Equipment Park 1, I believe. Off you toddle, so that's good. There's the mower all finished, so we can put you back off the field. Just leave you over there. We can come across to our contracts. So that's a good little earner. That field 7 is complete. Oh, we're starting to get baling contracts too. So that's what I was hoping would occur, so that we could get some spare hay bales, and therefore could just put this grass I've just cut straight in our clamp. And there we go, right off the bat. So field 50 is going to generate some hay. That will be perfect. Field 75 is silage. Field 86 is silage. So field 50 I think we'll take. Where is field 50? Hopefully it's somewhat central. It's quite close to the cow farm, relatively speaking, just at the other side of the village. So that'll work nicely. So we'll leave the mowers on. They're getting washed. In fact, we can send you to field 50. Might be the trick. Field 50. So that'll work. So here, which is the field? This is the field that we want to weed. Let's have a look here. Small weeds with a weeder. So that should work. No course on there. End of the lane from the cow farm, exactly. So that'll be perfect. And the work width, just one tool. With that on the back, I reckon 4 widths will be plenty. You can start in the center and generate you. That looks good. And start you off. That'll keep. Who have we got in the cab today? Oh, it looks like Paul. That'll keep Paul busy for the rest of the day, I'd reckon. While we're here, we might as well get that last couple of scraps that have been missed here. Because then this field will be ready to reseed when we get a chance. And we've got a spare minute. It's getting to be quite a busy operation we've got going here. So the cow field we've bought holds 100. How many cows you're thinking? The milk herd we're establishing, certainly not planning to fully stock it. We'll largely put calves in and let them grow up. I think we've got enough cash flow to manage that over time. Getting a little bit closer to the action here. How many cows do people think we should hop in? Let's rip this up a little bit. No. It's trying not to do that. Be easy just to run backwards and forwards across here, I think. We're down. Yes. Well, I think we've only got space for 100 at the moment, John. So I was more thinking in the somewhere between 20 and 60 as a starter population. I think if we get to 200, we'll be in the territory of being in a position to afford that farm at the bottom of the map that you originally pointed out for us. I think as beginning dairy farmers, they're definitely more in the double-digit range than the triple-digit range. Missed. Yeah, starting small kind of makes some sense. The other advantage of starting small is you don't spend all your time making feed and tending to them, and I think our main game is arable with the bulk of the family, even though we're making, you know, a lot of money from silage and the like. I think in terms of the goal of getting the overall manor back to its fighting state. It's definitely a, you know, let's get the land around the manor sorted out, and that needs some serious investment to get a couple of those big fields back, so to speak. So I sort of see the animals as a way of generating some good supplementary income, but also to deal with the diversity of interests that the family members might have. I remember growing up alongside our family friends, and there were 4 boys in their family, and the family was 5th generation on the land in regional Australia, and it was really interesting to watch the different ideas and directions, you know. So the father had really done some good things expanding the farm in Australia during the 70s and 80s, and number one son, that's all he wanted to do was follow in the path that dad had charted out. Number 2 son was a bit take it or leave it, happy working on the farm, but no real desire to drive it. You know, a bit interested in being a tradie and sort of having a bit more variety, being able to be on the farm and off the farm. So he picked up a trade. Well, in fact, they all kind of had to pick up a trade. That was part of their father's investment in their education. So the number 1 son was a welder by trade before he was allowed to come back to the farm, so to speak. Okay, we're good here. We'll send you back to the yard. Number 3 son went in a completely different direction, so he's quite a successful chef. Had absolutely no interest in the farm right from the beginning. I remember as a kid, quite interested in the animals. Always the first to volunteer and go and look after Bessie the cow. But he wanted to cook. And number 4 son is a truckie. So all very different individuals. Now, where am I trying to send you? I'm trying to send you, I don't want you to go to the home yard park. I want you to go to, yeah, there will be good. Right. So that was the other trailer. So that's the trailer we've got, but in bale configuration. And I'm feeling like if we put that tender on there, it would be very top heavy. So if we have a look at that tender we were looking at. Whoops. Where are we here? I reckon that one would be seriously top heavy and unstable on that bale trailer. He did not end up cooking the cow. Well, at least not to my knowledge. There's every chance that it was butchered on the farm. I can't remember ever inquiring as to Bessie's fate. But I can't imagine her being wasted. But certainly, every few months, one of they ran about 1,000 head of sheep in addition to the acreage under canola and wheat and the like. It'd probably be, it'd just be wrong on many levels. So, I mean, the unit itself weighs 800 kilos, which is probably not an issue. But then if you fill it up with 8 cubic meters of seed, that high off the ground, stability is going to be a problem. So I reckon the path is to give this one a whirl. We've got some choice of how to configure it. Oh, it actually looks pretty good in British Racing Green. No, they do not. I remember coming home with a couple of, or with an esky full of lamb bits that had been butchered on the farm. Or do we do the frame? The main color. I don't mind that, actually. Go for white for the working bits and British Racing Green for the frame. What do you reckon? We'll leave the rims as they are. We don't want gooseneck. Bumper pull it is. Capacity is standard. Wheel setup is standard. Lizard tires, I reckon, are the go. 1350. Let's have one of those. Okay. So that's sorted. Let's, well, this truck's already up here, so why don't we send you to the dealership? An esky is an Aussie cooler, yes. Sorry. That just automatic. They're just what they're known as. But yes, it is a brand. The original. What capacities can you get? All sorts from, whoops, excuse me, sort of small size to many litres. I haven't bought an esky for years. 2-person carry jobs. They come with wheels. They come all sorts. A few bright sparks have motorised them on occasions. You can stand on the lid. An essential part of camping life in Australia is the esky. What do we want to do here? We probably want to park you over there. And then send the Tedder to field 50. Would be a good idea, wouldn't it? Oh, no, meant the cedar. The cedar holds 2,000 litre. The planter holds 2,000 litres. The cedar is about 2,150. The big one. Just wheel you out a little bit. And the device we just bought is 8 meters, I think. The standard capacity. Let's have a look. Auger wagon. 8 cubic meters, which is slightly smaller than the one we had, but 8 will work really well, I think. That's not an issue, John. It's very easy to I know what I'm thinking about, and what I'm thinking about isn't necessarily what you're asking about, so I'm quite capable of messing that up royally. Field 50 we want. 50 east. You can tootle off there. We'll take the eggs later. Oh, you're stuck in the street because we haven't got you back seeding. Where are we up to? Now we've got to remember where we were up to. Is it going to tell me? Or is it going to make me search for it? We're over here. Okay. Finding this difficult. Let's go to the other map. In front of me to the right. Somewhere around here. There we go. Turn one more on. Coming back towards me. Okay. I'm probably using something slightly incorrectly, but it's a big field, so I couldn't, and for some reason it didn't immediately leap out at me when I came back onto it. I thought last took me to the end, but here we go, we've found it now. All good. So is the last waypoint the last one that I did? That would make sense. I've often wondered. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . why you would want to go directly to the end of the course. Okay. So we can try that out here. Or not. Let's try turning that off. Oh, there you go. Hot dog. Learned something. Thank you, John. That is excellent. So we have our 2 cornfields coming along. We don't want the truck right at the minute. The rain's annoying. Oh, where are you trying to go? You found a brick fence which has a collision. And that's not the way into field 50. So auto drive gets confused with field 50, which is fair enough, because that's field 50 on our left hand side. Why do I think you might have taken a shortcut? That might be the problem. Now, I'm not going to cut you in the rain, so you can just get sorted out here. 8.6, 2 headland, start work. Headland. Yes. Which is about how far through it should have been, was my guess, John. So I was happy to let it resume at that point. Generate your course. That will work fine. So we'll just leave you for later. You're weeding away on 46, so we'll just let you progress. That's really interesting. Ah, that would appear to be a problem. That's very unusual that that course would be like that. I'd say in one of his updates something shifted slightly down here. Why can't I zoom out of there? So what I want to do is move that back into the field, into the... Just make a little curved connection there. And that should be sufficient sorting out for now. You need to head back on. Oh, you have reached the dealership. What I'm thinking while we're here, we might as well procure. It's pretty crazy to go back with the seed tender that's not full. Let's fill you up. Okay, you turn weirdly. The drawbar has some... Oh, it's probably the toe angle on this truck is creating the problem. No, I don't think there'll be any issue with the... We'll open it up in a minute when we've moved these seed bags, but I think the... Okay, that's bizarre. It's only let me put... Has it got 2 hoppers in there? It does. So how do you get... There we go. That's how you get stuff in the second hopper, the G key. She's... Drawbar's a bit of a nuisance. Okay, so 8 bags go in. Z to unfold? No, let's try these keys. Oh, pipe out. Okay. Oh, there you go. Heaps, 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 heaps. It's wonderful. It's up and down. Excellent. Just like I bought one. Okay. So you can head to field 58, I reckon. $58 north from here, because that's the one we want to finish first. The weather is much better. You are progressing nicely. Where are we here? Field 7 here, I believe. And you're also in the right spot. Excellent. You made it back to your parking spot. So what we'll do here, put the sprayer in the shed. Come on, zoom in. Still having minor issues with my meese. Think I can take you off there. Actually, before we take you off, let's do the maintenance. For those that missed it the other day, we swapped a shed, put a big workshop facility in. More in keeping with where we want to be running. There we go. Repair there. Repair there. so we can keep the maintenance of our equipment up. It's drive through, which works a treat. Ultimately, we'll keep the harvesters, I think, at this yard between harvest seasons. But we won't bother to move one until we've done our, or won't bother to move ours until we've done our fields. So now you can go back to the dealership. You're not going to be able to turn there, are you? You're going to get yourself stuck. Why are you trying to do a U-turn? You made it, but there you go. Because the next thing we want at the dealers is a couple of bits of animal stuff. So a bit low on fuel, was it, John? We will attend to that. You don't go on that truck, I'm pretty sure. And you only take 3 cows anyway, so that's kind of pointless. What are you? You're an 8 cow option. We can't afford one of those for our fledgling cow business. You are a 7 cow option. So I'm thinking 8 cows, 16, 17,000. There's nothing in the sales, is there? Nope. I'm thinking this guy. Oh, Fert could do with the refill. Yes. I figured until the next time we use it, we won't worry. Don't see any reason to change the wheels. So just the basic trailer. And we want this guy down. Is that the one? Yes, it is. We want you to do the trick. So that will get us started. Now that the weather's better, you can kick off. Where are we? Our weeding is progressing apace. Whole 23% inch through this field. Looks like our weeder needs a bit of maintenance. And ultimately, pallet forks. Yeah, let's leave the pallet forks here. This tractor is completely impractical in the sheds. I discovered it yesterday. So we'll leave the pallet forks here for the minute. What I'm thinking of is we'll get a again, hoping something comes up, but I'm thinking that we need something like this guy. Or even the little Manitou here. So that's what I'll be on the lookout for something. The other one I quite like, a bit of a fan, if I've got it in here, is the tally truck, which I can't. Okay, let's go and sort that out. Let's put you down there because we're going to want you to go back to Putney delivery. Oh, yeah. Better. So that one's going to the right spot. That one's in the right spot. That one's in the right spot. He's gone to the right spot. And we'll fix him up while he's here. Might as well send you to the animal dealer. You can get some cows on the way. That one's... Oh, okay. My default route didn't work very well on this field. Penny needs more driving lessons, yes. But very confused in the new tractor. It's a bit bigger than she's used to. Let's try turning you on. Let's do the first headland ourselves. Given this field definition looks like it's a fraction out. I am liking this new Veltra. This is a beauty. Okay, so we're on track to finish the corn contract successfully, so that's good. Yeah, it's nice and smooth. Easy to drive, but it's heavy enough to hold its hold its course, so fit in nicely, and it gives us options. Now we're not queued up waiting for the Voltra. Now, where's... I want you... Oh. On there, do I not? Why did you do that? I don't want first waypoint, that's why. I want nearest waypoint. Now you should be better. You're fine. You're too early to get you going. You are going to the correct location. Oh, you're at the field waiting for something to fill up. But I'm not going to put you on autofill. We'll wait until we see we're out. So 46. What are we doing here? I'm just reading what my tractors are up to. So we've actually got 6 people working at the minute, so we need to hang fire. Let's run over there. Where are you actually up to? You've got 1,000 litres left in there, so that's fine. It's the other one that's about to run out. I'm at the wrong field. It's field 3 you needed to go to. Which is where... I'm actually at 58. And I need to be at 3. So I should have checked before I sent him, because he's basically driven past the field he wants to be at. Good. Oh. You've arrived back. Which means... Where is your bale spike, my dear? Over here somewhere, possibly. It's not a very road transport friendly configuration, is it? Can I fold it up? Yes, I can. That's a bit better. So now you can go up to Putney Cow Farm. Cows bunker unload. 1, I think. Potentially, yes, John. The reason I'm hesitating is, so the one thing that it could be useful for is taking grain from a silo to deliver to the chooks. The sort of job it might, because you could just drive right past the unload point. So I'm sort of thinking it's the sort of piece of equipment and the age that farm would likely hang on to rather than look to move on, because it's probably not worth anything. So you sort of keep it around sitting in a corner somewhere. Where are we here? Yeah, it's worth $3,000 to us. And it is 8 cubic meters, so it's also something that I could use on a field with a small harvester. What's the capacity of that bin on our harvester? Where are we here? There are a lot of bale spikes. What I'm looking for is to go here. So he's not a bad size to use as an auger wagon on a field for our harvester too. A lot of bale spike injuries. Yes, I can only imagine how dangerous they are in practice, especially in an environment where you've got multiple people working around heavy equipment. This truck just won't change gear. Which is why we replaced it with the man sitting over there quite nicely. The other thing that it's potentially useful is in this configuration, just running out if we were doing little seeding jobs with these guys, because whilst our seeding configuration isn't as developed as our planting configuration, but we'll sort that out when we start to see seeders come available in the sale. Let's see here. You're just going to keep chuffing away, aren't you, Ringo? What's happening over here? What do I feel like? Oh no, you're chuffing away. Turning around. So you're going okay. This farm next door, what do we got in here? Haven't looked in here. All right. Nice little storage area. Big silos. Cool. Is this for sale or is that a sell point? Looks like it's... Oh, so this is East Coast grain. Okay. Good to know. Right, you are. So, what's happening over there? You must be getting slowly towards where you need to be going. You're waiting. Let's see which side of the... I sent you to east, so... Field 3 east is going to be over here, so you can go and meet the tender. Back in this corner. Click you to last now that we know how that works. Will we get the field seeded? Probably not before we've got to fill up with fuel. I like the caravan sitting in the yard. I think it's a really nice touch. All hooked up, ready to go. We had a very similar caravan in the family as I grew up. Different brand, obviously, but very, very similar shape. Ah, that would make a lot of sense. I will... that's something I'll fix between streams. So, we are just waiting for this guy who we will now intervene with because he's just taken too long. And I think I want to go left there. You're up here. It doesn't matter, we can go straight. But I can get it to change out of first. That's a very weird camera position. What am I doing? Whoa. It's a very weird camera position. There's actually no interior on this mod. That's the first thing I observe. That explains a few of the challenges we're having. What am I stuck on? Oh, I'm outside the cab. So I'm actually to the right of the cab. That's probably because it's hasn't been properly converted to do what it says it's going to do. So it's right-hand drive. And so the camera position doesn't line up properly. It's a shame because it's a cool looking mod. But it's just got a couple of little bugs with it. You'll have to persist with getting slapped in the face with these tree branches. I want to go one more block, don't I? Yeah. Goodness, we're back again, stuck. Starting to feel a bit like I got up at 4:45 this morning. Not particularly good at early starts. So, interested to see what mods come out in the coming week. It's been a bit quiet from Giants as they've had a bit of a break by the looks. Few people in the pub early. I suppose it is 11. Now, we need a left side fill. So we want to go something like that. Would make more sense to come back and do a right side drive-by. Is it, John? I've never been there at this time of year. Now, will you refill? No, you will not. So let's go into here. But as soon as I get in there, you will. Beautiful. 2,000 is what we wanted. You're going to get out of there without snagging on the... No. Is the answer to that question. Looks like I should have some adjustment, but maybe if I hook it up to a tractor, I will have so I can open the covers. But I reckon if there is auger adjustment, looks like I only get it if I use it with a tractor. Okay, you can now go to field 7. We don't need to watch you drive through the hedge. And you're going to get there just in time. There's not much to go on that one. So that's good. while we're here, we'll run down to the animal dealer, because sitting down at the animal dealer is our other guy. A Ptolemy tractor. I am not familiar with the Ptolemy tractor. PTO own. Auto correct. I'm thinking, is this some weird reference that? Well, except that there's no PTO on the trailer. That's the thing. It's the trailer is clearly hydraulic operated. I don't know if it's got its own engine on it, but there is no there's quite clearly no PTO on it. So we'll when I do connect a trailer up to it, we'll a proper tractor up to it, we'll see what it does. Whoa, that's a little bit floaty. This one we can drive inside. Well, we could if we could drive. Getting a little bit of float in the rear axles. Yes, there is much power. That one, because I can't. Rid of you. Top up the coffers a fraction, and you can then see if you can navigate back on your own. Let's just check the settings on this is fine. You can get out of there now properly. The seeder is empty and the other one, yes. Thank you, John. We're going to have hay bales shortly, so, or hay shortly, so we can buy our cows, get our first load. Brown Swiss or Holsteins, John? I'm leaning to Holsteins myself, but I'm not adverse to a mix. We can do some with the other load. So now you need to go to the cow farm, Putney cow farm. Our pasture water's as good a spot as any to take those. No, you're stuck, man. Stuck. Penny really is struggling. The odd tree. I didn't do enough headlands is the real problem. Excellent. We'll stick with Holsteins then. Haven't done the eggs. Oh, you didn't even get out of the field, you doofus. You didn't like the big ridge. Rightio. Well, that's all coming along fairly nicely. Because next month, I reckon, we'll be in... Will we have any crops to harvest? Our harvests might not. We'll have harvest contracts will start to become available. But I don't think we've got anything. We'll want to be picking up a bunch of barley or wheat contracts just so that we can funnel the excess into our yeah, so there'll be nothing on our fields. 64 and 69. 64. So that's really interesting. So 69's a barley crop. And it was one of the fields that I was looking at. So 69 is 270,000. If we were lucky, so there is a play that says, can we generate 270,000 to buy 69? Because then we would get the crop, we could take the crop off it for ourselves, which would give us everything we need for the coming year for chickens, and probably still some to sell. The question is, can we get to 270,000? Well, I think of it, we need to bring that down to 810,000. Or else Mark will be cranky when he gets off the boat. Oops. Oh, crap. Set apple cart there. Hopefully not. No, that all worked fine. 7.5 cent across. Shaggy Highland cattle. Okay. I didn't want to do that. Weeding, progressing. You're probably just about ready. Looks like we're stuck again, are we? You'll eventually get there. You're doing fine. You're waiting. You're waiting in the right spot. And that's what I want. You're waiting where I told you to wait, which is good. Pop you over in the bunker out of the way for the minute. Now, where do I reckon? Maybe that's where the gate is supposed to be. Where would the trigger be? Triggery buttons. The loading trigger is at the front. Okay. Leave them on for a minute. What are you stuck on? Yeah, I've got myself bogged. How? What, is there a collision on there? Okay, looks like I might have to do a little bit of work on the map in this area, because it would appear that this custom cow pasture is not 100%. What is that? That's a really unusual collision. Sitting out. Okay. Will require a little bit of investigation to figure that out. But for now, let's come alongside here. Might make it a little difficult to get water into the trigger, but we'll see how we go. I'm on version 5. So I don't know why I wouldn't have it. But we now have some some cows, which look pretty good. So now we need to get them some water and some feed. Well, I think leave the animal trailer in the shed for the minute. Spot up there by the clamp might be a really neat spot to ultimately park it. There might be just enough room between it and the fence. I'm not seeing our cheap and cheerful. We'll just do a little bit of land work and flatten out a spot in there. I reckon he'll do nicely. I'm not seeing our cheap and cheerful trailer as requiring its own shed. Water we need. Is there a tanker for this truck? Go the other way. Trucks 754. Oops, too many button clicks. Combinations. What are you? You're a slurry tanker. You're a water and milk. 5,700 litres. 13,000 is fairly expensive for that sort of capacity. Diesel. I'm thinking we might pass on the modded version and just go for a... I don't think I have a water tanker. Got a little one at the other. Yeah. At the house, for the house cow. There is free water in the farmyard. Cool. We just have to get it across there. So we just need a little cartage. Something like that, or even one of these. The Joskins I don't mind. One of those might do us. You never know. We'll wait for a... I won't do it right now. See, the tanker that goes on the man... 8,000 litres for 20 grand. Oh, and there's Umatana's TARDIS. Maybe we'll do one of those. $200,000 litre magic tanker. I am in animals. If this is where you intended that I go. Obviously, I'm getting a bit of lag. Or you're over the course of the stream, you've dropped back a bit, John. What are you? 5,000, 20,000 litres even's excessive, but that might actually work quite well. I think we'll go with one of those. It's not super realistic, but I don't want to make a production out of running water around. What was the color that's default? That looks really... No, so just stay with this is just the standard one. Even it's excessive, but it'll do the job in that we'll mostly use it for in a single trip rather than having to do multiples. So I can send you back to the dealership to pick it up. You're all done, which is excellent. So you missed a stripe over there somewhere by the looks, or is that just just a draw distance issue? Just a draw distance issue. You did look like you missed a bit at this end, so we'll just go B and B. Let's try X. That's where we might leave it for today, I think. I will continue on, and before Monday's stream, I'll get some hay made and into those cows. And when we come back in May, or when we come back on Monday, we'll be at the start of June, and we can make a decision about what, if anything, well, we'll see where we're up to financially and whether we have an option to make a play on that that field that's right by us with the barley in it. It'll be touch and go, I think. If we'll just check our contract values here in a second. We're at 54. Got a couple of eggs to sell, so there's only a few $1,000s there. So let's say we, one way or another, we're at 60. We've also got a clamp with some silage in it. Let's have a look. You can go back. So if we go to our contracts, so we got 115, 155, 170, 175 or so sitting in contracts to collect. 54 there. And then in product we could sell. That's what I'm looking for. We've got 100 grams worth of silage. So at a pinch we could stretch, and 16 grand of straw. At a pinch we could absolutely stretch to buy that barley field. So I think that's going to be Monday's decision. I'm still here, yes, and we'll take care of it. We'll make that decision at the start of Monday's stream. So have a great weekend, everyone. Thanks very much for watching. See you next time. Bye for now.